Hey TikTok, this is a different format than I usually make TikToks in, but I just want to come here and complain and rant about the United States healthcare system because it is dysfunctional. I feel like it's not just dysfunctional for trans people, but it's dysfunctional in general for anybody. I had this fiasco this year where suddenly my doctor was out of network and um there was like three parties involved. There was my doctor's office. There was actually no, there were four parties involved. My doctor's office, their medical group, my medical group that my insurance assigned me, and my insurance. And from everything that I could tell after researching this and like talking to each person, these things should have been able to be aligned. I should have been able to get my insurance to put me in this particular medical group with this doctor, and this doctor should accept my insurance. And I talked to their office, I talked to that medical group, I talked to my insurance, and then at the end of the day, my insurance was just like, nope, just can't. Why? This doctor is out of network, but they're telling me they're in network. They're telling me they do accept my insurance. Nope, you're gonna have to pay out of pocket the whole amount, which is ridiculous. I don't know if you know. To see this doctor, even to get, even to get like regular, just physicals, regular checkups, is hundreds of dollars. And now, I switched to a new doctor. I had to get this doctor to like refill my prescription, even though I couldn't get an appointment with them for like 2.5 months. That was the soonest opening they had, which is wild. So I had to call and be like, hey, by the way, I'm about to run out of medication that I've been taking for like forever. I decided to switch pharmacies, because every time I go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription, they give me like a really weird attitude about it. And I feel like this is just really uncalled for. And I'm just like, you know what? Now is the time to just switch to a new pharmacy. Like, I don't know what it is about this specific one. Now, the pharmacy is telling me that this medication that I've been on is not covered by my insurance. So I call my doctor's office because I'm like, maybe there's some kind of mistake. They tell me no, there's no mistake. We sent the script to the pharmacy. Okay. I call the pharmacy back and say, hey, like, this should be covered. No, it's not. You have to talk to your insurance. Okay. So I talk to my insurance. They transfer me around like 3 times. Every single time I have to give them my first, last name, my date of birth, my zip code, like something. And it's like, I'm spending more time just telling people who I am than actually trying to resolve this issue. Because immediately I talk to someone and they're like, oh, actually I have to transfer you to someone else for this. Okay. No. Yeah, that's fine. I've been in that situation. It's not your job. I'm not going to try to convince you to do somebody else's job. It's just... So my insurance tells me no. This medication is actually not covered by us. I think part of it is like I was actually getting it through GoodRx and not my insurance. But when I called back to tell CVS that, they acted like they've never heard of GoodRx, which is super weird because most people that I talk to about this are at least familiar, like they've heard of this. So it's like, how have you not heard of this? So I have to give them the GoodRx information, and even then, they're charging me more than what's quoted on the GoodRx site, and it's like, okay, that's fair, I guess. And this is all to say that this system makes no sense. Private insurance makes no sense. You have to have like four different parties involved in your healthcare, and none of them communicate. None of them talk to each other. Instead, you're like a messenger running between them, making phone calls, sitting on hold for like hours waiting for a call back. People are rude to you, and they're just like, oh, yeah, we'll call your doctor back and tell them this. Oh, yeah, we'll call your insurance back and tell them this. And so you're going just back and forth. This is dysfunctional. Like, I've never done anything else. I've never seen another industry. Like, if I want to go to the grocery store to buy an apple, I don't get transferred around from the Apple department to this. It's a simple, like, two-way transaction between me and the grocery store. You don't have to involve anybody else. Nobody likes this system. Nobody's like, I love insurance. I get all my prescriptions on time. I've met old people who basically their whole life has to revolve around arguing with between insurance and doctors and like all of these things. Like, the system does not work. And this doesn't even scratch the surface of like the principal argument of like the fact that the market fails for things with inelastic demand. Like, this is a clear product of that, but like it doesn't even touch on that principle. It's just the material reality of like experiencing these things, interfacing with these things is so frustrating. It just blatantly does not work. So I don't understand when we have a conversation as a country about why are we using this dysfunctional, antiquated system. Can we switch to a public healthcare system, a Medicare system, some kind of national healthcare system, some kind of single payer healthcare system? There's always a concern voiced from someone who's like, well, what if you like the insurance you have now? Will you be forced to get new insurance? I have never met a single person who has ever felt that way about their insurance. I've met people who have felt that way about a doctor. I've felt that way about doctors. I've had wonderful, beautiful, excellent doctors. I've had really caring, amazing doctors. I've talked to amazing staff. This is still within this dysfunctional system that they are like powerless to do. They have to work within these confines. Like, if anything, having a better healthcare system would liberate them to provide even better care. There's doctors who are like so overworked. People are mad because they can't, like I was saying, I can't get an appointment for like 2.5 months to just get a regular checkup. And people are so mad about this, and everybody has this like different blame on different people. But let's just acknowledge the reality that like doctors are under incredible amounts of stress. There's just not enough of them to meet demand, and they work in these like in this terrible system that doesn't accommodate them. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help them to do their job, and people are irritated. People hate going to the doctor, and going to the doctor in this country is not going to an institution that actually cares for you. The institution is dysfunctional. It is set up to make doctors basically like machines. Like, people talk about like the cold, uncaring nature of going to the doctor, and you're just treated like it's a depersonalizing like experience. It's because we just don't give them the tools. Sorry.